Dear friends and dear viewers, warm welcome on the Project Creative Society. Today we're having an international discussion with our friends, and before we begin introducing our honorable guests, I'd like to make the introductory word and say that finally on the 4th of December this year took place a huge international online conference, which is called Global Crisis Time for the Truth. This is truly an unprecedented event that on one platform united people from 180 countries and was simultaneously translated into 100 languages of the world. This is truly an amazing event, which was organized by volunteers from around the world by people and for people. During the conference, we raised and discussed very current and very important questions for the whole global community and voiced the real way out of the global crisis that we as a humanity is facing now. So today, during our international online discussion together with our respective speakers, we will continue to uncover the topics that were raised during the conference, as well as we are also going to share our impressions of this truly significant and truly human event. Right now, I'd like to introduce Kate, my beautiful friend, a host who is going together with me, asking our honorable speakers the questions about the conference and lead the discussion. Kate, warm welcome and greetings to you.
Thank you so much, Konstantin. Thank you to our dear guests for joining us today. And for our viewers, I would like to say a couple of words about the speakers of our today's international discussion. So first, we have with us Nyendo Kinyonga from Tanzania, and she's research and teaching professional specialized on environmental issues and sustainable development. Welcome. Also, we have with us Andriy Pridnya. He is an ERP architect, and he's from Canada. Welcome, Andriy. As well, Silvia Maraone joined us in this wonderful discussion, and she's from Bosnia and Herzegovina, and she's a coordinator for Italian NGO IPSIA. Thank you so much for joining us today. Also, we have Almira Nailova from Republic of Kazakhstan, and she's a lawyer, so she will share her experience with us too. And also, we have Dr. Surinder Kumar from India, and he's Australia Leadership Award Fellowship from Melbourne University, Australia on Public Health. Welcome. Dear speakers, we will start our discussion just in a few minutes. And before we do so, I would like to invite you to watch a short video. This is like a short video from little snippets, little excerpts from the conference where the speakers share vital information with people. And this is like maybe like a little trailer that will help us to kind of like dive deep into the atmosphere that was on the 4th of December and remember what topics were highlighted by respected speakers. So please, let's watch the video.
Four months have passed since the time of the previous conference, and over this relatively short period, we have seen how much the progression of climate change and environmental degradation has accelerated. It's important not to remain silent, because this survival of all humanity is at stake. It is time for the truth.
We are now in a world where every single day, somewhere in the world, a climate extreme event is going to take place that will break the world record of that particular place.
The European floods this summer, or the Western North America heat wave this summer. Both of those extreme events were due to the jet stream reacting in very unusual ways, in ways that climate models did not predict would happen.
But when I'm out in the field, I always hear people say that I never thought it would happen to me, and they're always surprised. Can you imagine how devastated you would be if you lost everything that you owned? If you watched the people around you, the people that you love, struggle and suffer or even die?
We have to understand we're one people on one planet, and it's up to us together to solve these problems.
We cannot leave it to our leaders. The leaders have shown that they are not up to the task. The leaders think of themselves as leaders of their own country. They don't care about the rest of the world.
The problem right now is we've all surrendered a certain amount of our power to centralized authority, and they're trying to use that to take over everything. And they've been using this excuse of anthropogenic global warming in order to try to consolidate their wealth and control. So we've got to just completely abandon and expose that.
The discussion about the climate is narrowed down to the reduction of CO2 and global warming gases. And I think the problem is much broader than that.
Nobel Prize winner Sukuro Manabe showed that doubling of CO2 concentration would increase temperature without considering water vapor by 1.3 degrees Celsius, whereas when you do take into account the moisture content, the temperature would increase by 2.3 degrees Celsius. In other words, its increase is almost 2 times faster. Anthropogenic global warming is a grandiose scientific scam of the 20th century.
When you actually go back into geologic records, ice core samples, volcanic data, 12,000 years ago, it was Campi Flegrei in Italy. 24,000 years ago was the Tambora in New Zealand. That lines up exactly with the cycle.
Green energy is not green at all. Wind power is not green because wind farms require enormous amounts of concrete and metal to construct, disturb wildlife, harm human health with noise pollution, kill hundreds of thousands of birds each year, pollute our air and water supply. We pay high prices for something that will never meet our needs.
We need to build a humanity that lives like a beehive, and we have to build a society that puts human life first. If we combine our scientific, technological, and intellectual resources, we can solve the problem of climate change.
Let's follow the Creative Society's survival guide. The 3 easy steps. Learn more, spread information, and unite to build a creative society.
After all, this world is given to all mankind with only one purpose: to live and be healthy, happy, to create and not to destroy.
The Creative Society is a project of everyone. We do not collect any donations or funds that disappear in the deep pockets. Instead, each person acts in their abilities and uses resources they already have. It is your opportunity to be a part of the solution and live out your superhero potential.
Thank you very much. And let's begin our today's discussion. The question that I'd like to address to all our today's speakers, please share with us, dear friends, your thoughts, and please give us your feedback on this event that took place on the 4th of December, the conference Global Crisis Time for the Truth. And share with us, please, what impressed you most. Almira, can you please start?
Здравствуйте, дорогие друзья. Ну, во-первых, я хочу благодарить организаторов.
Hello, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank our organizers for this meeting, for today's meeting, and for participating, for this ability to participate in the conference, because what we are doing today, it is very important. And I would like to say that this conference, Global Crisis Time for the Truth, it left, very just light impressions on my soul, because the voice, such voice has been voiced, such voice and such truth has been voiced that just gives, generally makes you reconsider relationships in general. And it is like a symbol that everything that is happening in life, right? Well, we are all responsible for that. And the truth has been voiced that all the threats that we have today, right? This one of them is the climate threat. And, such global problems that we're going to have, well, our humanity has never faced it within thousands of years. The scientists had their own say, and they gave the explanations and evidence that what we are really going to face serious problems. And the scientists presented many lots of information and evidence about the reason of the climate change as the cyclicality, and so which actually leads to irreversible changes, not just on planet Earth, but also on space. And these changes affect, again, not just our planet, but the other planets. So this question is so acute today that I would say that, well, we have never had such issues. And, dear viewers, I would like to pay attention to the fact that when we talk about the global crisis, and even if you take the title of the conference, Global Crisis, Time for the Truth, but what I found out that this global crisis is not only about climate changes, but it's about the way of thinking of people. Because when I heard information about today's slavery of kids, that actually there are farms on which, inhabited by girls, so to say, and they are made, these poor girls are made to just give birth to babies, and then these babies are sold. Okay, it's really awful. It's really awful. What else information should we listen to in order to pay attention that we are all in a deep crisis? This is inhumane things. And when these facts were voiced during the conference, personally me, I have never heard of them. And I could not just help but cry, because these are, I would say, brutal facts. And what's really happening today with to our climate, yes, it's one more problem, and each person should ponder over the way he's living his life, whether it is humane or not. And the truth that was voiced during the conference, it is true. This truth cannot be just refuted, because this is the truth which was voiced as a result of huge labor of thousands of people who had been looking for these facts, for this information, for the speakers. And they proved that we are all, in one step before the abyss. And in order, I would like to quote right now an example of Igor Mikhailovich Danilov voiced in the video, climate, it concerns the future, it concerns everyone. So I believe that this example will leave you not indifferent. So many problems we have, not just in the climate crisis, but other problems as well. And that we can really just build a new format of society, and we have the chance for the survival to go out of this hell, of this catastrophic state of humanity. And including this way will help us solve those issues that I have voiced. because the format of this ideal society that could really be built on our planet, it could change the whole humanity radically, and including it could make each of us just live according to our moral principles, honestly. So let me quote this words. All of us, people, are in the same boat. We are floating down the river. And excuse me, there is a waterfall ahead. And in order for us not to fall off this waterfall, we must all unite and row in the opposite direction. We can stay afloat, we can survive, but only if we all row together. Really, all together, not passing our oars to others, because this is our life, and we must fight for it. And our children's future depends on how well we row. It is for their sake. If you don't want to row for your own sake, then let's row for the sake of your near and dear ones, for the sake of your friends and loved ones. But we have to row together and in the same direction. Then we will have a chance. And such a simple example just explains that everything that we are doing today is not for nothing. And we can have beautiful future. We can build beautiful society, happy society for everyone, where cheerful eyes of a child will be so kind and will be just full of joy and love and happiness. So let us, friends, let us get united and build this beautiful society. But not just in order to survive, but to have a better future. We do not have the right to give up this chance, but we have to take the right path in order to build the creative society. This is the only society that has the right to exist on our planet Earth. Let's do it together, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Almira. You know, the quote that you shared with us today, I think it's amazing. And you know how they say, united we stand, divided we fall. And this is what is basically, this is like the fundamental key point of everything that should be in our world, of every interaction, every communication, every relationship that we build all together. Thank you so much for sharing your really inspiring feedback. And right now, I would like to pass the floor to Dr. Surendra Kumar. I know that you also were, you know, directly involved in the preparation of the conference. You were participating in the interpretation and translation process. So could you please share your feedback of the process itself and of the conference and the information that inspired you the most?
Yeah, well, responding to your question, is really an amazing experience, having come in contact with this such a wonderful group, Creative Society. And I've seen the process, it's like more of a teamwork and coming together, a collective manifestation, what I've experienced over the entire process before the conference and during the conference and the post scenario of the conference. It's like a collectivity I have experienced, a teamwork, different mind coming together, different people coming together, different geography, different political stuff and different intentions, but they're just coming as one mind, working toward a coordinated activity, not cross purposes. That's what I liked a lot. I see a lot of good also practices of public administration during the conference, whereas theoretically speaking, because what I see a different, you know, as like you mentioned, I think 180 country participating, and then there was translation of 100 languages. It's not some sort of, you know, I mean, just an easy play. It's definitely tedious, it's laborious, and it's a huge and a massive task. So definitely it was a great learning. And I highly appreciate this forum, this platform, Creative Society. And I really tick off that I was not familiar with this society or with this organization before. But I'm blessed, and it's really an awesome stuff seeing Creative Society working on this platform and on this subject, climatological issues and global change and different things. And another dimension which I would like to I should mention is like since my discipline is sociology. I was doing analysis and sort of interpretive understanding in my mind is like what creative society is doing. It is all about solidarity, which is more of a collective solidarity, social fortitude. Whereas, like, since my discipline is sociology, and we read a lot because climatological issues and climate, global change, temperature, and different things collapsing and clutter, things are toppling down, devastations. They're all connected to one thing. It's like when we talk about ecology, environment, and climate change, they also have their share in disaster and their occurrences. So when we as human beings or human societies experience and try to respond, maybe a disaster or something, or damage, there are just two dimensions which I figure out. The two theories would crop up and they surface themselves. One is like solidarity happens in a disaster or anything chaos that happens, solidarity will happen. And then at the same time, conflict will happen, such as like mentioning Emile Durkheim from a sociological perspective. He put forward this theory of collective solidarity. So, which I experience a lot. Global society is doing what? It's like different people coming together from different geography, different country, different locations, different languages, interpretations going on simultaneously. It's like social solidarity, which is happening. So some people are environmentalists, they are topographical experts, or maybe they are sociologists, they are managers, they're IT people, and they're communicators, linguistic possibilities. So what their intention is to form themselves as one family, coming together against this climate change, devastations, trying to respond, disaster management, response, recovery, rehabilitation, different things. I've seen the entire conference. People talked about experts, scientists, researchers, and all. So it was an eye-opening for myself even. So a lot of things I've jotted down, quantitative and qualitative data. So that is one dimension which I am very much convinced and clear that creative society is a reflection and a manifestation of collective solidarity and social fortitude, which I, as a student and a practitioner and a researcher in sociology, I firmly agree. But at the same time, the antithetical of the same is also there, which is conflict. When it happens, we want to join together, conflict will also happen. Some people will oppose it. Some people will say it has a different connotation, a different notion, and things like that. They would try to, sort of nullify it. Different things are happening. So that is also okay. If that happens and is experienced, we must understand that when we come as a family, as with collectivity and social fortitude, of course, when you want to focus the target, when you have common objective and commonality you want to share, you will be opposed. That is going to be there. So which I've seen, sort of internet and Facebook and different social media, it happens. So these two things I've experienced. But majorly, I would like to say that without any hesitation and fetus, it's like collective, creative society. What I personally figure out, my personal interpretation is a manifestation for me of social solidarity and fortitude. That's what I just want to comment. Hope I've made points.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your feedback and your answer. I'd like to pass the floor right now to Sylvia and ask him about his impression of the conference, and we'd like to hear your thoughts and feedback on this truly human and amazing event. Please share with us, please.
Thank you very much. Watching the conference, my impression was, let's say, optimist somehow, in the sense that my colleagues already said a few minutes before, but it's scary at the same time. What I was really liking, it was the fact that we could see what is going on all over the world, all together finally. And this is a huge success, having people from all over the world showing, imaging, and showing what is going on due to the climate change gives us a strong signal. The situation that we can see, watching all that is going on from all over the world, is that we have a short time to react to what we have been doing in the last years, centuries, and we have no plan B, as we know. So it was scary somehow, as I already told, because if we see all in the map, as you can see in the conference too, or through the image, or through the witnessing of all the people around the world, is that we have big damages all around, and the situation at the moment seems that can just go worse. But at the same time, I'm sure that through this kind of conferences and with the help of all the people in the world, the good people, the solidarity, we want to react. We can have somehow a plan B. It's not a matter of surviving, but it's a matter of living. We need to strand to the values that are common to the human beings, and that is solidarity, being together, and finding new alternative ways to take back what we have good in this world. So I think it's time for acting, reacting, and we can only do it together. So I'm very grateful because through this kind of meetings and conferences online, and also doing things in our single places, I'm positive that the situation can change in better.
Thank you so much, dear Sylvia. And, you know, I absolutely agree with you. When I watched the conference, and some of the facts, some of the information was truly shocking, and I couldn't stop crying, because when you realize what is happening in the world, you know, you just kind of like feel that, okay, we went a wrong direction a long time ago, and we need to do something about it. And also, on the other hand, you feel this freedom on the inside, and you feel the happiness that finally this truth that what is going on in the world has been voiced in 100 languages. And right now, people have an opportunity to understand and realize the realities of our modern society. And also right now they have this goal where they can strive to. And right now they understand what is the future that we as humanity, as society, deserve to have and deserve to build, because we won't have it if we won't build it all together. So thank you so much for sharing. And also, I would like to address the same question to Andrei. Could you please share your feedback of the conference? And also, you know, please let us know what was new, you know, what information was new to you, and what did you understand after watching this 12-hour conference, the amazing event?
Спасибо.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. Thank you for inviting me to participate in this great international dialogue. And I would like to share my opinion about the conference. So what I was impressed by then, and what I'm still impressed by, I would say it's a large-scale format, because this large-scale format was, you know, in everything. It was in the forthcoming events, large-scale in the economics of politics, in climate changes that occur, and even the scale of the tasks that humanity faces today in order to overcome, and to the scale of the information presented. And some speakers, actually, they have been looking for this information that they have voiced, right, for tens of years. Can you imagine that? And the scale of you know, the just conference presented itself, just a huge number of countries was presented, over 180. And lots of languages, foreign languages, self-interpreting, right? Well, I was not able to take part in the just in the help of technical team, but I understand, as a technical specialist, I can tell you that it was really amazing. Lots of work has been done, and thanks to the fact that all the people have united together for the just common good, so to say, forgetting about themselves, about their needs, but they participated and made this conference true. So I can say that this fact really testifies that we can unite, and people work as a single mechanism, right, so to say, or a single organism, and we were able to present such conference. Of course, some facts were really shocking, and I wouldn't like to repeat them again. Maybe if you haven't watched this conference, please watch it. But even, I was impressed by the scale of the false, so to say, morality in today's society. But I would like to wind up my say with a positive mood, so to say, is that really, although we have a huge task to solve, right? But the good point here is that it is not impossible to solve it. It is possible. And this is all simple, actually, if people get united. Yeah, this is simple like that. People just get united and they do something good for all the people. They do for the good for the society. And so it looks like this. So lots of thanks to you for your understanding.
Thank you very much, Andrew. And I'd like to ask right now our Nyando. Nyando was also participating in the conference and helped to do the simultaneous translation of this whole event. Also, she was helping with translating into Swahili. Nyanda, please share with us your impression about the conference and what was new to you, please.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity to be among the panelists on this global discussion on issues, cross-cutting issues. During the conference, everything was impressive for me because what I come around and understand that different stakeholders, it means different people, are now aware that the global face a lot of challenge from academic, religious leaders, and other politicians. So people are aware of what we are facing currently. So this makes me say, oh, it means that we have the common goals from all aspects of other people. So that means we need to go forward as we can say creative people. It means now we have been seeing how we can go forward because we have support from all other people. It means we are in a phase now to create a society which is sustainable. And on aspect of climate change impact, I think all the speakers have been highlighted the impact. It means the impact and the indicators of climate change is already visible now. You can say to find the scientific method or to find the other method to quantify the impact of climate change. It is almost visible, and the key remarks show that climate change is real and it's happening. And we can say that this is the good opportunity for us to go forward and address those changes. And something which it is not familiar to me during the conference, or it is new to me during the conference, that is my first time to translate. So it has been like, what should I manage to translate? Though I didn't translate in a big part, but I learned to translate. I hope next meeting I will translate the whole night, because in Tanzania time it was night, so I will be in the whole session. Hope so. That is all my insight I can say.
Thank you so much, dear Nyando. And yeah, thank you for being a part of those true heroes who were able to provide the interpretation to so many languages so that people all over the world could hear this vital information. And also, thank you so much, dear friends, for sharing your feedback. And we prepared a little surprise for you. We gathered a couple of comments from the audience. People commented on the conference broadcast, and I would like to read out just a couple of them, and because I think they're so inspiring and they're worth of sharing with you, because they are so also in line with what you just talked about. So the first comment is pretty short, but it's, I think it's very nice to hear. Our power is tremendous. Our potential is endless if we unite. Let's do this. Let's build our dream together. So this is just like what you were talking about, friends. And I think this comment is so short, but it describes what we as people are capable of if we unite all together. And the other one is huge appreciation to all the team for organizing this. This is amazing work. Done by thousands of volunteers all over the world. This shows how much we can achieve if we act united. This is the key. There you go. Unity is, just like we said before, is the basis. This is the fundament that opens our tremendous potential that we have on the inside and makes it everything possible, actually. And the other comment that we also would like to share is, great job. Lots of work was put into the making of the conference, and this is done only by volunteers. Volunteers who stayed up for 12 hours straight, who let their private life stop for 12 hours. And all this is only to inform everyone. Thank you so much for the effort, your time, your strengths, your hope, and your work. Great job, well done. I hope the information reaches everyone, and most importantly, changes people's mind and heart, so that we can all come together to stay together and help our planet as a unity. I love you all. So I think these are really amazing and very inspiring comments, and we just couldn't stop by sharing it. And right now I would like to pass the floor to Konstantin, and because I know he has a really interesting question, might be a bit tough to answer, but yeah, go ahead, Konstantin.
Thank you, Katya. The first question I'd like to address, which from my point of view is really current in today's society, because more and more people are becoming a part of this category. Almira, I'd like to address this question to you, and the question is, from your point of view, what conditions should be created in the society so that such expressions as refugee, migrant, internally displaced would not even exist in our world? What do you think about it?
Спасибо большое за вопрос. Он на самом деле
Thank you for this acute question. Right, it is quite unexpected, as well, the comments of people were not expected. I believe that in today's society, we have this, crisis of trust, so to say. For some reason, I like this definition. Why? Because we do have this problem with trust among just people, among our relatives or colleagues. And it seems to me that in order to speak about how to create conditions in our today's society so that this even concept of refugee would vanish, I believe that we should, first of all, just establish such relationships between all of us, so as we would have, in our interaction, we would have humanist, responsibility, trust. Because what characterizes crisis, the level of the development of any society in general, these are really valuable features or qualities, I would say, because I believe that even such a notion as a refugee, it's, it's like a slang word, and but we should accept the truth that we must live, we should live as people, we should just give a helping hand to each other, we should trust each other, and we should do everything possible in order to have these moral and spiritual values, the highest values in our society. And I believe that we should change the format of society we are living in, because any, boundaries, restrictions that are between us, they should be eliminated, because even we should change just even the will of those people who just are leaders of our states, but so as to accept the will of people who want to live in peace, get united. Because when we talk about the Creative Society project, one of its profound foundations is the development of the human life and development of any society, right? It just happens when we really value human life. And when such concepts of refugee or immigrants or something like that would vanish in our society, that was, I believe, that we should accept this basis as a foundation. So again, human life is the utmost value, and we should carry out this principle in our everyday life, and it would help to eliminate, to eradicate this even notion of refugees, or because these are people, they are just useless notions. Thank you.
Thank you, Elmira.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Elmira. Yes, the question was a little bit unexpected, but it's also really important to talk about these things and to understand that human life has to be a #1 priority in a normal, healthy society. So thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on this topic. And also right now, I would like to address to Dr. Surendra. Could you please share with us, like right now we know that the disasters, natural disasters, they happen all over the world, they happen simultaneously, and their intensity and destructive power is increasing. And what do you think, can each country deal with the climatic disasters on their own, separately, or not? And if not, how important is it to unite in the face of these climate cataclysms and other issues as well that we have in the society? So what is the role of unification in this process?
Of course, unification is very important in coming together, absolutely outstanding and imperative. And whereas thinking about your question is, people can certainly, different countries can handle natural disasters on their own, basically, and mainly they have their defense mechanisms, preparedness, warning system, and manpower, and how to mitigate disaster, its effect and impacts, and on human life and human property and economy, political system, the entire gamut of social structure. Of course, they do have resources and they're equipped also, whereas the theoretically and whereas empirical is also. Developing countries are more hit by natural disasters as compared to developed countries. And Asian region is definitely vulnerable to natural disasters as compared to other locations and geographical settings across the globe. And variously, definitely there are trainings, there are equipments, possibilities, strategies, and defense mechanisms to come against, mollify, and pacify the effects and effects of any disaster, be it natural disaster or man-made. countries are trained up on the ground of their experiences, their expertise. But whereas talking about global unification and solidarity coming together is highly imperative and indispensable. Of course, I would say it's need of the hour, because when we come against natural disasters as a global community, we share expertise, ideas, experiences, and human resource also, different perspectives and paradigms also we share. And it's quite important for us to understand the relevance of different people, different geography coming together to answer and stand against natural disasters, because there may be variations of natural disasters, such as earthquakes may be more prone in a different location in a different country, whereas flash floods may be happening in a different country more, or avalanches may be happening, thunders may be happening, road accidents may happen. And so we must understand that what kind of disasters we are experiencing more and how to handle them. We may not have that kind of expertise and strategies with us. The other country may be having, so we can transport those expertise, those experiences, ideas, or SOPs, standard operating procedures. But whereas what we need to understand is unification and solidarity, joining hands, is very, very important, because those natural disasters, of course, we do have some kind of scientific methodologies against them, like preparedness, warning system, predictability, coming together and analyzing your data. This year we might experience this disaster or that disaster. We understand, but people have to be in the middle. It's not, disasters are not just exactly technological or techno-driven dimension. Of course it is, or just administrative or managerial. It is, I agree. But it is a sociological issue. Whereas people have to be in the middle, they have to come in the middle. While unification and coming together of people from across the globe, I'm talking about, is again telling and reiterating the importance of coming together, when importance of people keeping, having in the middle. So unification and solidarity, joining hand, is definitely, I would say, need of the hour, and it is imperative, and we just cannot bypass it. Whereas I would just take very recent example of COVID pandemic-19 just happened. We all still face this and experience this in different formats and different shapes, versions. And one of my recent research also have mentioned this. It's COVID-19 started for all of us, we remember it's from disease to a disaster. And not even a single country was impacted by it. And many were infected. Many lost their lives. And of course, many of us were not infected. But at the same time, we must remember that all of us were impacted, and we are still being impacted by it. So in COVID-19, also the same thing happened. The unification was experienced. The solidarity was experienced across the globe, I'm talking. And people joined hands. Be developing countries or developed countries or different languages, either you speak English or you speak your mother tongue, whatever it is, people ultimately had to come together, and different voices were across, just join hands and different things. So what I personally feel, the same stuff is applicable, and there is a manifestation also. Dealing natural disasters, be it any country specific, community or human habitation specific, be it developing countries or developed countries, it is important. Unification, coming together is quite important. And global unification and global coming together, joining hand, is definitely, I would say, very, very important, because then you have facilitation, you create a platform, a kind of ambience where expertise can be shared, expertise and knowledges can be exchanged and communicated and transformed. That's what the very idea, because I may be not having much knowledge on how to handle earthquakes. Maybe one country may not be knowing about it, but the other country knows about it. Maybe another country doesn't know how to handle flash floods, but the different country knows about it. Exchange can happen of expertise, and then human resources can also be rotated around. By doing so, we can also club and join together as a team, and we can relate that different cultures can be transferred, different understandings and possibilities and dimensions can have on one common platform where interaction, dynamic interaction can happen. So once again, I just want to wrap it up that the unification coming together is absolutely, absolutely important, and we just cannot bypass it. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Dr. Surendra, for a sincere answer. That's the unification. I totally supporting you, that the unification of people, that thing that can truly change the world for the better. And again, we can do it together. Right now, I'd like to pass the floor to Sylvia and ask Sylvia, you're helping people throughout your work. And share with us, please, how important is it to bring awareness of what is going on in the world now? And please share with us your experience in helping people.
Yeah, I'm currently living here in Bosnia and Herzegovina. I work for this Italian NGO, but I was working, helping people inside this NGO first as a volunteer. And I also want to thank once again all the volunteers that take part in the conference last time. And so from a volunteer, this started to be my job, and I choose to leave my country. I am Italian, but I started living in the Balkan region several years before. The situation that I see daily is a situation of people that are escaping from their countries. Especially, I remember during 2015, I was going in Greece, Macedonia, and Serbia, especially. In that year, almost 1 million of persons cross the seaside between Turkey and Greece to try to reach Europe, a better country somehow, or at least a dream of a better country. But we saw that the conditions in which this person were living were terrible. So the kind of help we were providing at the time was more material and support with clothes, food, and the so-called non-food items. What we saw is mostly that the people, yes, somehow were in need for material help, but what was more relevant was the psychosocial support that we can provide to the people on the move. So we met every day, 100 and sometimes 1,000 of people staying after Greece. I was working in Serbia, and now I'm working here in Bosnia. So every day I go working in the refugees camps, and I meet hundreds of people daily that need to talk and express their feelings. They tell us why they had to leave their country, what they dream for their future. What is terrible somehow is to see that these people is traveling with the whole family. So we see women, children, old people trying to reach a better future. And me being a European, I'm not sure which kind of future they're going to really find in the countries of destination they want to reach. But what we try to do is support them in the daily struggle and in the future struggle they will have. So somehow we try still to help, providing material support, but especially we try to speak with them and support their mental health, because these people is traveling like 2, 3, 4, 5 years of their life. They're mostly, the people that I met every day are mostly from Afghanistan, Syria, Iraq, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and that part of the world, so Central Asia, Middle East, and they're escaping from war or dictatorships, so they're searching for human rights. And what we try to do is to comfort them and to try to tell them that there is a world made of solidarity, because for now, during this travel they've been through, they face violence, they face a lot of problems with the police, with the border police, with the smugglers, traffickers, every kind of situation that they can face. But we want to show them that there is a world made of solidarity. There is a different kind of option they can go through. So it's very hard and challenging having every day this kind of situation to deal with. We see people coming in terrible situation and physical condition, So now it's also very cold, it's snowing, the temperature are going below the 0 degrees. So we just hope somehow that these people will survive. And it's terrible to think that they're just trying to have a better life. The difference between me and them is that I was born in a European country with a very good passport, and this is the only difference between me and one of them. I didn't choose where to born, and I didn't choose where to born. So we all see in the end that we are all humans on one world, but this world is made of separation, differences, privilege that we don't deserve. And also I am coming back to the topic also of this crisis that we will face. I'm very scared because in the future, the majority of the people that will leave their country, it will not be only people fleeing from the wars or from the crisis, political crisis, but it will be people fleeing from climate change disasters. So we expect in 2050 to have more than 1,600 millions of people leaving their countries, leaving their countryside, going to the urban places, and then leaving for other countries too. So we really need to think that we are just facing a disaster, and we know that this situation will come out, so we need to avoid it in time. That's it from my side.
Thank you so much, dear Sylvia. Yes, thank you for actually bringing up these facts and sharing your life experience, sharing your, your story. And truly, right now, after listening to you, after watching the conference, after listening to our respected speakers today, I really understand that today, more than ever, is the day when we need to build the creative society. We need to ensure and guarantee the safety of every human on the planet Earth. And especially when we understand that the cataclysms are increasing and everything that is happening right now is not giving us a helping hand for sure. We really need to unite, to bring on this solidarity on the first place and to truly remember that we are human beings. And just like you mentioned, Sylvia, the only difference that we have is the passport with the rights. And who made this passport up? People did. So we truly need to think of an alternative, think of another format of society where human being, human person, every person on the planet Earth will be the highest value. And then once we unite, then we can come up with all the solutions and make this world a better place for everyone. So thank you so much for sharing this. And I would like to address the next question to Andrei. I know since you're working in this technical field, I would like to ask you, how important is it to dig into the issue, to dig into the problem, and to understand and see the root of the problem itself? And how can this help us to overcome all these difficulties that we experience right now and will face in the near future?
Да, конечно.
Yes, sure. Well, if we take the technical issues, right, one of the most important thing is just to decline or to define where the problem is, because when it happened, then to change something well or make it better, all right, it becomes clear. And what needs to be done, right? And the conference that we are talking about that took place, Global Crisis, Time for the Truth, it actually brought to the surface all the dead ends, right, that we are facing today. And now it is clear to us what we need to do. And we understand that this is the unification of people. That's what we have to do, to get united. Because human life, this is just the highest value. There is nothing more valuable than human life. And I have to say that, this is the main right fact. And anything else, of course, it is like additional, conditions. And because even even technology, from the point of view of technology, we are kind of already united, right? Because we have this opportunity to see each other, to talk with each other from different countries. And even from the technical point of view, right, we just have to move forward to solve the issues.
Thank you very much, Andrew. I'd like to touch a little bit the question of interpreters and their role in doing that positive thing is as informing people. Since I was participating also in the conference, both as a speaker and the interpreter, and my understanding of interpreting is that if you're translating from any language into your mother tongue, you're becoming some kind of a gate of information for people and informing them about what's happening in the world, about the current issues and the way out of those issues. Nienda, you were interpreting the conference. What inspired you to participate in this event and devote your time, your skills to simultaneous interpreting of the conference into your native language? Share with us, please.
Okay. According to the law which I prayed during the meeting, I think sharing the information to your people, it means like I'm telling my community, I'm telling the society what is happening. I think this is a big opportunity for my society, because might be they will not understand before about the issue, but when they find someone within their locality, it means giving the information about the truth of something. It means it's very easy for them to understand. So this inspired me a lot, because I'm working on the issues of climate change and the other SDGs like waste management, sustainable city, especially on the waste management. So transforming those information to the community, it will be easy for them to understand what is happening within the world today. Because other people will say climate change is not impacting my area. What is climate change, by the way? How do people are saying? So transforming those messages to the local community or to the native language, it is easy for them to understand what is happening and what they are supposed to do to make this planet the better, or to make adaptation mechanism, because we need to adapt or to mitigate as our role as the people. This is our role, because there is no option. We can say there is no planet B. So giving information to someone is very easy way to act.
Thank you
I think
so
I
much.
can say that.
Thank you, Niendo. And what do you think, how the situation will change if everyone takes an action? Because you just mentioned that it gives them the possibility to act. And what, in your opinion, what kind of world we might have if every person in the world starts to actually implement and practice this wonderful skill of acting altogether?
Yeah, I think if everybody know the responsibility of protecting the earth, I think we will never reach at this stage. Because if I supposed to consume sustainable, if I supposed to protect the environment, if I supposed to create the peace and security and to avoid the conflict, it means you play your role, and the earth will be the better place for everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And also, we have another comment that we found on under the broadcast of the conference, and I would like to read it out. It's pretty short, and then I'll ask probably the question to all of you, dear friends. So the comment states, bringing awareness, alert, inclusion, and people's participation to the maximum is the need of the hour to combat the problem. So the question would be, what do you think? How can what can each person do right now locally in order to spread the information, to bring this awareness about what is going on in the world, about the conference that was held on December the 4th, and about the project Creative Society? And why do you personally think that creative society is really vital for us right now as humanity? So who would like to go first, guys? Maybe Almira, go ahead. Thank you.
Да, спасибо.
Great, thank you. You know, you've said such a great question, because people are already starting to get ready to talk about the conference. And I believe this is happening because people got this, you know, inner response to the conference, to this information, so that they feel this need to get up and do something for the benefit of people. And right now, yes, we are talking about the first stage of building a creative society. This is informal stage, right? And you can read about the stages of building a creative society on the website. And I would like to say that, right, this global informing of people by any means, right? And of course, the most popular means is social media, because you know that whoever you ask today, and I've talked to many people, so I see that people do have this kind of demand for just changes in the society. And when you tell people that the creative society is what we really need, right? And we need to build a creative society in all the countries. We cannot solve, you know, these global issues by solving some local ones. And that is why it is very useful today, you know, to spread information in any form in social media. And this, any person can do this. So these are interviews or social polls, or when we ask people in social media what society they would like to live in, and what's their opinion about the conference, and what should be done to solve our today's issues. And I would say that, you know, I observe that people are really listening to this information attentively, and they say, yeah, all people accept that until we change this inner attitude inside us, right, to society, to people, then we won't see any good changes in general. And as for the second part of the question, can you repeat, please?
Yes, so why do you personally think that creative society is right now vital for all of us?
Да, спасибо, Катюш.
Right, thank you for this question. And right, when we are talking to people about the necessity to change the format of society to the creative one, right? Yes, and you know, we discuss these issues, but we really come to the conclusion that creative society is the only format, with the only platform that gives all the benefits, right, to all the people. And of course, it's vitally important to form such a vector of our development so that human life would be at the basis of our society and would be most valuable. So, and then we'll be able to resist all the challenges of just climate changes happening today, because then we'll be able, to get united on these vital, important values of just human life, right? And respecting each other. And if you ask even your friends, anyone, right? So anyone would be first thinking about his or her life. And when we have problems when we do not put human life at the first place. And that is why, friends, I believe that we should spread this information, that in this conference understand there is understanding for the necessity to build a creative society in order to tackle these climate change issues. And then this climate creative project, it is very important in order to build a better society. That is why creative society is what really can change the vector of each person's life. This is most important, which will allow us to radically change the course of historical events for the better ones, and as the prophets have strived and told us to do.
Thank you very much, Elmira. Thank you. Dr. Sarandro, would like to address the same question to you. I'll probably repeat it. From your point of view, what can each person do right now locally, at least locally, in order to spread the information about the conference, as well as the fact that there is a way out which was announced during the conference, and that is the creative society? Why do you personally think that creative society is vital for us and as a humanity right now? Share with us, please.
First, it's like the question is to be divided into two. The creative society dimension, which is I would cover later. The first is individual call has to happen within individuals, like how to proceed further, how to respond to situations, how to take and personally cause awareness on yourself about the need on climate change, like disasters and climatological issues. That has to happen. And that will only happen when we have personal education, and personally we are aware of it. And it's not just personal awareness, but that individual awareness has to cause collective awareness also. The entire battle, I guess, is between psychological reality and existential reality. For many of us who understand, like people part of creative society, or maybe they are joining this conference, or they attended this conference and they were previously part of this and they're still connecting, they take climatological issues and challenges and global warming and natural disasters, man-made disasters as existential reality. They understand the impact of it. Whereas many of us who are maybe not part of it, and they think it's just kind of crap talking about global climate change and climatological issues and disasters. And we are not experiencing any disasters and changes in climatological issues. That is their psychological reality, which has to be transformed from psychological reality to existential reality. Whereas individual call, I would say, has to happen in each and every individual. They must know the reality. They must know the emergency of understanding global change and climate change and possible ill effects of natural disasters and man-made disasters also. So this sensitization has to happen in those people. And whereas like responding to such kind of situations, which normally people don't want to, and they don't want to train themselves up and hone themselves up in such kind of understandings, we require a platform. And how will a platform happen? Because it's all about, I guess, a behavior change. I was just reading a psychological theory in how to change a behavior. It's like a pre-contemplation, then contemplation, preparation, action, and maintenance stage. So what I personally believe all of us have to arrive at maintenance stage where any change behavior has to happen without an active thinking. It should be just a spontaneous, dramatic response. So these climatological issues, disasters, and global change, environmental and ecological things, we just don't have to think twice. We must immediately respond to such kind of catastrophes and damages, antithetical situations, anti-developmental possibilities, and sustainable possibilities. How will that happen? The only thing we need to prepare ourselves from within because there are two ambience. One is like external ambience. Of course, we are all there joining hands to cause betterment in our external ambience. But the first dimension, first ambience is our internal ambience. That is why I say individual call has to happen in individuals. That's one dimension. But when the going gets tough, the tougher gets going, we all know. So this now comes the role of creative society. But it's like people joining creative societies, hearing about it, and sort of, learning, because I take it as a learning platform. It's not just interactive platform or sharing your expertise, experiences, and sort of, shortcomings or maybe success stories. But at the same time, it's a repository, it's a data bank for a lot of success projects and informations where people can train themselves up, not just themselves up, but other people, I would say other people also cross them, around them. So joining creative society and sort of sharing your thoughts, your experiences, your learnings, expertise, and kind of experiences you have, and also looking at people's research, kind of quantitative and qualitative body of data they share there, like they did in conference. A lot of pictorial informations were there, videos were there, research informations were there, quantitative was there, and then qualitative, large body of data I have seen. In fact, I would be asking some of the data so that I too can sort of take some help in my research. So the vitality of creative society is definitely very categorical. It is candid indeed. And why it is candid, it's not just because I'm at this point of time part of it and I'm just blurted out. I mean it. Why? Because definitely it's a common platform encouraging commonality. Whereas you can experience different possibilities, different pictures, and different learnings also. And you not only learn for yourself, you also cause learning for others also. If you have questions, maybe disconnects, challenges you experience, you can definitely ask some of the people here. They may be experts in those areas. They may have some good number of experiences in creative society. They will pass on the information, understanding, or their traditional know-how or knowledge or modern knowledge. So you can train yourself up. You can equip yourself for the battle in a more equipped way. So that can definitely help you. So I personally believe that the role of creative society is really vital in causing education, awareness, sensitization, and mass awareness, I would say, among people, because individuals can definitely help, and it is important. Individual call has to happen, but at the same time, that commonality, that collectivity also has to come into the picture and have some manifestation. And how will it happen? When you have such a large network, which is like just recent example is like 180 country broadcast and then 80 languages being translated into, that's a big and massive success, I would say. So if these things happen like once in a year, twice in a year, or maybe some roundtable, different things, different discussions, expertise can be communicated, knowledges can be shared, informations can happen, and the awareness level would definitely go dramatically and drastically very up. So this is going to create a massive platform, a massive damage to such kind of events, which can take a toll on human life and property. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Dr. Surender. Thank you. Yeah. Konstantin, you would like to share something?
No, I just didn't want to interrupt Dr. Surender, and in the end, I just said thank you, Doctor, for sharing with us.
Yeah, thank you so much. And right now, I would like to address to Sylvia. Sylvia, what do you think about it? What can each person do locally to basically spread the information? What, in your opinion, are the best tools to use? And, you already shared from your experience that you talk to people, you try to comfort them. This is probably one of the best ones. But what do you think? How important is it to spread this information that was shared during the conference and about the project? And why, in your opinion, it is really vital for us to, move away from this consumer's format and really build a creative society, a society where we as humanity will prosper?
Yeah, thank you for asking. I think that the things can be better, let's say, in a global level if we act in our individual level, because we cannot expect big changes, especially we cannot expect that the politicians all over the world will ever do something to change the kind of situation in which we all are. And I think that the change comes from individual choices that we can make. So, for example, thinking on the environment, it's pretty much clear that we can choose. We can choose where to throw some kind of garbage, to make the proper selection of the garbage, for example, to reduce plastic, reduce every kind of material that cannot be transformed again. We can choose not to eat some kind of foods. We can choose not to consume GMO elements. We can choose not to eat animals from intensive farm if we still eat meat. We can choose to change the things from the small steps that we can do every day. Not to throw a small piece of paper outside from the garbage bin. This is the first step that we can do to really change the things. And the second pillar, and this is what I also like, let's say, about the creative society idea, is that everything starts from some kind of important stage that are the human life, human safety, human freedom. And I think that is basic, starting from education. Educating not only the new generation, probably they are a step forward, but also to educate some kind of generation that didn't understand that with their acts, what have they've done in the past is now affecting the future of the people. So I think education is the most important pillar to build a better world, a better society. And I'm very grateful for this kind of occasions to share our thoughts and to try to reach as many persons as possible.
Thank you so much, Silvia, for the answer. Andrew, right now we'd like to give the floor to you and ask you what, from your point of view, each person can do right now in order to spread the information about the conference, and why, for you personally, creative society, you think that it's vital for us as for humanity right now. Share with us your opinion, please.
Спасибо, Константин.
Thank you, Konstantin. Right. The most important thing that each person can do in today's situation is just not to keep silent and start to speak up, not start spreading information that the creative society, this is the society that we can all build. I would like to give an example, from my personal experience, that I've just decided not to be silent, but start spreading this vital information about my friends and acquaintances. And after I've just made this decision, one of our local television channels in Canada decided to join our International Creative Society broadcast and show the conference in its full format. And then, even the second professional channel, right, joined us. Second in the channel in Moldova also joined and showed spread information about the international conference Global Crisis Time for the Truth. So even the speakers also noticed that people just resonate positively with this information, that each person would like to live in a happy society, in such a society where human life would be appreciated. And of course, we all see that this consumer format of society that we're existing today, it is all leading us to the deadlock, and nothing good in such society can be happening. But we all need such a format of society as the creative one, that we all can get united for the benefit of all people, of the whole planet and the whole humanity. And only just having all these values and following them, we can resist anything evil, anything bad. We can cope with everything, all the issues. And that is why this conference, it just has shown that the real example that people who have united, they made it possible. Okay, they organized this conference, and it is, actually, this uniting of people is already happening today. It's not going to happen, in far future, but it is happening today. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Andrei. Thank you for sharing this really inspiring examples when not only just people, like ordinary people like you and me, are spreading the information, but also the TV channels are starting to join this process and share the information, spread it even more widely, between the people of their countries, so that we could be informed. And when we are informed, then we are prepared. And this is also one of the key points. And dear Nyendo, could you please share your opinion and your understanding of what can each person do locally to spread the information as much as possible, to bring this awareness and to basically inform people that there is an amazing way out, amazing solution, which is creative society? And why do you personally think it is important right now for all of us as human beings living on the planet Earth?
Okay, thank you, Katie. I can start by saying that why creative society is vital. For me, creative society, I can say it's a good platform for people to create awareness about the issues, cross-cutting issues which we are facing today. I can say that we are having a lot of issues from these small few days to come, because we have been trained to have different ways of transforming those messages. So creative society is vital because we as Dr. Kumar says, we get a lot of information from qualitative data, from scientific findings. So that is the area where we can get information and then we can disseminate it to our local community. And what are the tools that can be used to disseminate those information? I think social media is the best tool to disseminate information within the local area or any other area, because I know creative societies through social media. So you can't avoid social media nowadays because it's the best and the easy way to get information. And if we can use social media, though in some of the developing country issues of information through those social media is difficult, I think issues of conducting the physical workshops, you can go and meet some community and then transform those messages. It will be the best tools to those community which lack of those current modern technology of transforming the message. I think that is my observation.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Dear viewers, we are coming up to the end of our today's conversation, and I would like to say that if you have questions regarding the Creative Society project, how to build a creative society, or you would like to participate in the Creative Society project, please send us your questions to the email, which is info@creativesociety.com. Your questions we can address to our speakers during the conversation and hear their professional answer. Also, we're inviting you to visit our website, which is creativesociety.com, where you can learn more about the project Creative Society and know how to join the Creative Society project and start participating in it actively. So please welcome, waiting for your questions, and we need you as well.
Yes, thank you so much, Konstantin, for sharing this information. And I would like to pay my gratitude to all our dear speakers for today's amazing conversation. Thank you for sharing your experience. Thank you for sharing your opinions and your knowledge with us and dear viewers. And this has been amazing. Thank you so much. And yes, we would like to invite all of the viewers, all of the people in the world to watch the conference that was held on the 4th of December, Global Crisis, Time for the Truth, because this event is really eye-opening. The information that was shared is really painful sometimes, but this is the reality of our world right now. And after watching it, then we basically get a chance to decide what is the world where we would like to live in, whether we want to leave it just as it is, or we truly want to unite, come in solidarity, give a helping hand to each other. And by joining these efforts, build an amazing world where each and every person can develop, can prosper, and can really live happily, just as we all are made to. Thank you so much one more time, and we'll see you soon on another broadcast of the international discussions on the Creative Society channel.